Hi everyone, my name's Jennifer Cross and I am here with Dr. Taniesha Burke, and she is a certified and trained fascinating womanhood teacher, but also has some wonderful experience and working with parents, and is going to tell us a little bit about your research and then about how parents can create closeness with their children.
Okay, hi everyone. So my research is in parent-child relationships. Specifically, I look at mother-child relationships,
Okay.
and I specifically focus on minority families. One of the objectives I have for my research is to look at the strengths of the family
Okay.
and to promote that. Because if you have access to a lot of literature on minority families, you will see that the research tends to focus on this functionality, issues with corporal punishment, and so on. So they give
Oh,
this bleak picture of what minority families are like, particularly Blacks and African American families. So for my research, especially in my dissertation years, I wanted to focus on the strengths of the family. And one of the topics that I looked at is closeness.
hmm.
So how do we create closeness in the mother-child relationship, and what does that look like? So my entire dissertation looked at closeness in the mother-child relationship in middle childhood.
Middle childhood, so what ages?
Middle childhood is somewhere between 7 and 12.
Okay. So what do you think, if you could give us 3 to 5 like major takeaways that you probably already knew what you wanted to share with us. So that
Mhm.
that would really help us out.
So one of the things people may wonder, what do I mean by closeness? So
Hmm.
closeness basically is when you and your child co-create this experience of mutuality. So in the relationship, the parent-child relationship cycles through different types of interactions. So you may have interactions relating to discipline issues, and in those interactions, it's more hierarchical. So it's the mother exercising her authority to get the child to comply or behave in a particular way. Then you have interactions relating to attachment. So that deals with security. So when a child is feeling afraid of a particular environment or situation, they can go to the parent for some form of comfort.
Hmm.
Now, closeness is related to a different form of interaction where the power between the parent and the child is equal. It's completely mutual. There's no fighting, or there's not one person trying to supports the other because of a form of distress. So you're co-creating this form of neutrality with each other. And through it, you learn to build together as a parent with your child. And one of the things I wanted to emphasize to parents is that when we create more experience where intimacy can be developed, it has the benefits of actually helping children to become more compliant. So the relationship is a form of like exchange.
Hmm.
So when children have interactions with their parents that
Hmm.
are that have mostly close interactions going on, when it comes to a point of complying to requests or certain behaviors, children are more likely to comply. So one of the ways that you can reduce, especially if you want to practice being a feminine woman,
Mm.
one of the ways you can reduce the power struggle in your relationship with your children is to create those atmosphere where you can create closeness. And closeness, you might be wondering, how can I create that? In our research, parents actually mention a lot of instances that really don't cost anything. For
Mm.
example, a lot of parents felt close with their children when they are participating in leisure activities. So for example, a lot of mothers said they felt close to their daughters when they go shopping together.
Hmm.
Also, as it relates to family routines, a lot of mothers mentioned that they felt close to their children when they're having breakfast together. You know,
Mm.
that dinner, that eating time is still very important. So when they're having breakfast or dinner together. Also for young children, when they're tucking them in at night. So
Hmm.
story time, sharing experiences and so on with their children, they actually felt close. So what you can do as a parent is to try to get your children involved in more projects together. So you may cook together, you may do household chores together. those kind of interactions rather will help to create a mutuality in the relationship. Also, some parents mention leisure activities such as watching TV together. So it's not just watching the television program and then being silent. It's having a discussion around it. And, you kind of get to see what your children like and dislike through the movies. Family meeting is also very important. So a lot of people are used to the meetings in the corporate world and realize how important it is as well to have meetings in the family. When you have a family meeting, you're not having a situation where you're going to blame your children and come down on them. It is all a mutual environment where you're both discussing, this is what happened this week. I didn't appreciate that. So you're giving everybody in the family an opportunity to be heard. When children are heard, they feel a sense of belonging, a sense of connectivity. So closeness helps a child to feel belonged, and they also feel connected to their parents. Also, parents can try to create opportunities where their child can self-disclose. So a lot of parents said, for example, they felt really close and special, especially with the children in late middle childhood, because they're entering the teenage years and now they start to filter what's happening in their school life and friendships. So when they open up to their parents and said, hey, this is what happened at school, this is what is going on with my friend, the mother in particular felt a sense of being mattered. So seeing it being mattered basically means that you are seen as important to somebody who is significant for you. So your child see you as so important to disclose something that you wouldn't even find out if you didn't have a sense of asking. So there are lots of opportunities and ways that we can develop closeness, but the main thing, especially for young children, mothers with young children, I want to share is that when you create more opportunities for closeness, children have a sense of belonging and a sense of connectivity, and so it increased their level of compliance to parental requests and parental rules. And once they comply, then you don't have the hierarchical issues, and then that reduces the issues with punishment.
Sure, that makes so much sense, but I can also hear in a way, a counter argument, like, well, I want my child to obey me, Well,
for your children can obey you, but I think
they're going to obey more out of the fact that they are validated, and so more cooperative, rather than out of fear of you.
When children have a sense of closeness, they're more likely to cooperate. And once they cooperate, then all the issues of compliance then starts to be reduced.
Perfect. Great. That makes so much sense. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Burke. Dr. Burke, I know you have a class. Your website is drburke.com. Dr. Taniesha Burke?
No, the doctor is not on.
Oh, okay. Taniesha Burke.
So it's tanieshaburke.com.
Yes, and you have a fascinating womanhood vintage class starting next week. So please visit her website and check it out. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Talk to you later.
To talk about my research.
Bye-bye.
Bye.